An Australian mining company bought 5 brand new 2023 Ford Rangers with 2.0-litre EcoBoost turbos for their operation. 3 years later, 2 trucks are dead. Turbo failures, transmission slipping, DPF regeneration nightmares. Average lifespan, 87,000 kilometers. Their oldest truck, a beat-up 1998 Toyota Hilux with a 2.7-litre diesel sitting at 542,000 kilometers. Still hauling ore every single day across the Australian outback. Here's what Ford won't tell you. Modern trucks engineered to fail. EcoBoost grenading at 100,000 kilometers. 10-speed transmission slipping at 60,000. DPF systems costing $4,200 to replace. Meanwhile, pre-2010 Australian trucks laugh at 400,000 kilometers because they were built simple. Today, the truth nobody wants you to know. Let's expose it. Number 5. Nissan Navara D22, 2001 to 2008. Here's what Japanese engineers understood that modern manufacturers forgot. The D22 with a 3.0-litre turbo diesel yard 30 making 140 horsepower and 343 Nm torque is still running Australian job sites at 380,000 kilometres like it's just getting started. A construction company in Brisbane documented 11 Navaras averaging 356,000 kilometres before retirement from daily service. These weren't gentle work vehicles. Daily towing of concrete mixers, materials, equipment through Queensland heat where summer temperatures destroy lesser trucks. Maintenance records showed consistency. Oil changes every 10,000 kilometers, fuel filter replacements, regular servicing. One site manager described his experience. I bought my 2004 Navara with 120,000 kilometers. Put another 287,000 on it over 9 years. The most expensive repair was a water pump replacement for $350. Everything else was scheduled maintenance. The Yard 30 turbo diesel shares DNA with petrol engines proven across Middle Eastern mining operations to 450,000 kilometers. Simple mechanical injection without variable geometry turbo complexity. The 5-speed automatic is agricultural-grade solid compared to modern automatics with 600 potential failure points. That construction company calculated total ownership. $14,500 average purchase for 95,000 kilometer examples. Drove them another 261,000 kilometers. Total cost, 6.2 cents per kilometer. Modern Navaras cost 42,000 Australian dollars with unproven turbo reliability. Current market sits at $10,000 to $18,000 depending on condition. But Nissan's Japanese engineering can't match what Toyota unleashed when they dominated Australian outback conditions. Number 4. Toyota Hilux, 2002 to 2008. The 2002 to 2008 Hilux with the 3.0-litre turbo diesel 1KD, FTV or 2.7-litre KZN 130 petrol making 120 to 163 horsepower is the truck that made Australian reliability a global phrase. An outback mining contractor documented 18 Hilux trucks averaging 387,000 kilometres before retirement. These operated in some of Australia's harshest conditions. Spinifex deserts, tropical monsoons, river crossings, temperatures swinging from -5 to 48 degrees Celsius. Not one engine failure, not one major transmission problem. One fleet operator explained, "We chose Hilux because they work in conditions where other trucks surrender. Frame rust is the only enemy in the top end. Mechanically? They're bulletproof. The diesel engines use mechanical injection without electronic complexity. The automatic transmissions shift like butter at 300,000 kilometers because simplicity never wears out. Frame construction is legendary, overbuilt for war zones, mining operations, and Australian bushland where failure means being stranded 500 kilometers from civilization." That contractor calculated $16,800 average purchase for 140,000 kilometer examples. Drove them another 247,000 kilometers towing heavy. Total cost, 5.8 cents per kilometer. Modern Hilux cost 52,000 Australian dollars with turbo reliability unproven. Current market sits at $14,000 to $24,000 depending on frame condition and mileage. But Toyota's diesel can't match what Holden built when they actually respected Australian truck buyers. Number 3. Holden Colorado RG, 2004 to 2008. Here's what General Motors built for Australian buyers before SUV fever killed the mid-sized truck market. The The Colorado with the 3.0-liter turbo diesel Duramax Eli Lilly making 171 horsepower and 380 Nm torque, engineered for Australian conditions, red dust, corrugated tracks, extreme temperatures. A pastoral company in South Australia documented 14 Colorados averaging 341,000 kilometers across cattle stations where mechanical failure means losing thousands in livestock management. One mechanic described the simplicity: the Duramax Eli Lilly is overbuilt. Fixed geometry turbo, no variable geometry nonsense. Engine breathes freely without DPF back pressure strangling modern diesels. When these fail, they fail gracefully at 300,000 kilometers, not catastrophically at 80,000. That pastoral company calculated $18,200 average purchase for 110,000 kilometer examples. Drove them another 231,000 kilometers. Total cost, 6.9 cents per kilometer. Modern Colorados, oh wait, GM killed them in 2017. But equivalent modern Utes cost $45,000 plus. Current market sits at $16,000 to $26,000 depending on mileage. Holden's diesel reliability can't match what Ford built with their legendary Australian Ranger. Number 2, Ford Ranger PK, 2003 to 2009. The Ford Ranger that built Australia's reputation for work trucks. The 2003 to 2009 PJ and PK generation with 2.5-litre turbo diesel WL or 3.0-litre turbo diesel TDDI making 90 to 143 horsepower became the backbone of Australian construction. A Perth electrical contractor documented 22 Rangers averaging 378,000 kilometres before retirement from daily service. Stop-and-go city work, towing loads, brutal Australian heat-melting dashboards and testing air conditioning systems beyond design parameters. One contractor said, "Rangers are the most overworked, underappreciated trucks in Australia. Mine had 412,000 kilometres when I finally retired it. Original engine, original clutch, original everything except brake pads and batteries. That's it. The diesel engines are mechanical marvels. No variable valve timing, no cylinder deactivation, no electronic nightmares. Just displacement making torque. The manual transmission option is legendary, clutches lasting 180,000 kilometers with normal abuse." That contractor calculated $13,700 average purchase for 85,000 kilometer examples. Drove them another 293,000 kilometers. Total cost, for 0.6 cents per kilometer. Modern Rangers cost $38,000 Australian dollars with turbo reliability failing before warranty expires. Current market sits at $11,000 to $19,000 depending on condition. But even Ford's Australian workhorse can't match what Toyota cemented as legendary. Number 1, Toyota Land Cruiser 79 Series, 2000 to 2007. Top Gear couldn't kill a Hilux. The Australian mining industry proved the Land Cruiser 79 Series is indestructible. The 4.2-litre turbo diesel 1HZT or 4.7-litre V8 100 series engines making 155 to 235 horsepower are the same engines powering Land Cruisers across Africa, Middle East, and Australian mining operations to 550,000 plus kilometers. An Alice Springs exploration company documented 26 Land Cruiser 79s averaging 412,000 kilometers before retirement from remote exploration work. Deep desert traversal, river crossings, corrugated tracks, temperatures swinging 60 degrees Celsius between seasons. One geologist described his 2003 79, bought it with 78,000 kilometers, put another 334,000 kilometers on it across Australian deserts. Engine is original, transmission rebuilt once at 320,000 kilometers for $2,800. That's everything except maintenance. The frame is titanium strong because Toyota engineered for longevity, not quarterly profits. The 1HZT diesel uses mechanical injection without turbocharger complexity. The V8 uses pushrod simplicity. Both engines are proven across global mining operations where failure means abandonment in lethal environments. That exploration company calculated $24,500 average purchase for 165,000 kilometer examples. Drove them another 247,000 kilometers in brutal conditions. Total cost, 7.1 cents per kilometer. Modern Land Cruisers cost $85,000 AUD plus with twin-turbo V6 reliability unproven. Current market for 79 series sits at $28,000 to $48,000 depending on condition and frame integrity. But these aren't just trucks. 5 Australian engineering masterpieces from an era when reliability actually mattered across the world's harshest conditions. The Hilux that Top Gear proved indestructible. The Land Cruiser 79 still conquering Australian deserts. The Ranger that built construction empires. These aren't just numbers, they're proof manufacturers once built trucks to last. While modern trucks grenade at 80,000 kilometers, these legends laugh at 400,000 kilometers because Australian conditions demanded simplicity that survives. Hit subscribe before tomorrow's video exposes which modern Utes fail fastest in Australian conditions. Drop your oldest reliable truck in the comments. Which one refused to die?